Hey there, welcome back here. Jeff Barnes here again to talk about our third installment of investment options available to self-directed investors like you. Now, the last couple we've talked about debt and equity. These are the most common types of investment options available to self-directed investors and even Main Street investors who use a typical financial planner to go about doing their investments. Today we're going to talk a little bit about commodities, and I realize that I've left maybe a couple of these things off here, and predominantly, honestly, that's just because I don't know enough about them in the interest of full disclosure. I just know enough to be dangerous, and that's not really what you want. So if you are one of those individuals who is a self-directed investor but still wants advice, I didn't mention this in any of the previous videos, but you should do yourself a favor and find a fee-only financial advisor, not a planner, an advisor, someone that you can bounce ideas off of. They'll just charge you based on the amount of hours you take up or the time that they spend with you, or maybe they just have a flat rate that you pay on a yearly basis. Doesn't matter. Just find somebody that you trust that you can bounce ideas off of so that when you go into this world of self-directed investing, you're not doing it completely alone. All right. That being said, let's jump into the next section, which is commodities. Commodity investing is something that's done through a variety of means. One way that people go about commodities investing is through the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME. And what you do with the CME is you basically buy options. You buy contracts of various commodities. You know, we have listed here gold and silver, various metals, copper, iron, other precious metals. You can do this in foreign exchange areas, currencies. You can also do it in agriculture, corn, wheat, soybeans, cattle futures, pork futures, all these different things. These are called futures contracts. And what you're doing is you're buying based off of what you expect the future price of that commodity to be. I am not going to go into the details of this because, like I said, I simply do not know enough in this area to really help you in that. But what you can do is you can start researching ways to buy commodities, ways to buy futures contracts, and things like that. And you can absolutely do this using your retirement plan. It's really important to know that there are these other ways of doing it because there's so many investments available to you that you're not told about by your typical financial planner, again, simply because they cannot sell them to you. But, just because you can't buy something from a financial planner doesn't mean that you should be completely locked out of that investment, right? So spend your time, do some research, learning a little bit more about commodities, futures, contracts, and things like that. The one area that I do have a little bit of knowledge about is in natural resources. And this is something you can learn from a lot of individuals, but there are several ways to buy natural resources. We already talked about real estate. You can buy real estate, and we already know you can buy land, you can buy apartments, you can buy buildings. But you can also buy what's underneath that land. You can buy the mineral rights to oil and gas production, for example. So you don't need to necessarily go out there and buy a drilling company or invest in the company that mines all of the precious metals. Instead, what you can do is you can buy the mineral rights, which are basically royalties on the amount of stuff that's pulled out from underneath the ground. And with the natural gas and shale boom that we have going on in the United States, that's a huge investment opportunity. And again, one that you can take part in with, I'm not going to say no risk, but very little risk because you are not the one that's actually going out there and financing the drilling operations. You are simply purchasing the rights to existing farmland or vacant land that is being mined and getting a royalty on whatever they pull out of that. Now, one thing that I have listed here, and it might seem kind of strange, is water. Why would you even think about investing in water? And in all reality, water is not necessarily one of those investments that anybody would say, okay, yeah, you need to invest in water. But think about this. Currently, right now in the United States, we are experiencing a water shortage. The state of California has a severe drought going on, and they have for decades now. I've lived in Southern California and had for a while, and every year they're saying there's another drought and a record-setting drought. And what's actually causing that is not because there's less water in the world. Yes, there has been this climate change going on and maybe not as much rainfall every single year, but there's also a lot more people on this planet, and those people consume a lot of these other natural resources. And as a result, because we're consuming more, we're eating more crops and produce that the farmland's raising. And so the farmland is actually sucking dry all of the deep wells underneath the ground where they're drawing the water out of, as well as the rivers. And so we're going to experience a severe water shortage in the next several years, and there's a lot of information about that on the web. I'm not going to belabor you with all the details, but think of this as an opportunity to maybe invest in a way that is outside of the box. I'm not saying that there's necessarily a well you can go buy and you're going to start selling water to the rest of the world. That's not happening, especially here in the United States. But when you start thinking about how vital it is to have water and all these other natural resources that provide a lot of value for the rest of the food chain and the value chain from all of our import, export, mining, farming, all of these different agricultural purposes. You can see how it can be a very good investment opportunity because, again, like they say about land, they're not making any more of it, right? So this may seem like a pretty strange post and a little bit off topic, but I just want to give you guys a sense that commodities are not just what you think about. They're not just the gold and silver or oil and gas, but there are a lot of different ways to look at commodities, and there's definitely a lot of ways to invest in it. And it's just one more thing that you can add to your portfolio if you feel comfortable going this route. And again, finding a way to hedge against whatever financial collapse may be coming down the road. All right, so I look forward to talking again about the next topic, which is just the various miscellaneous items out there, so that you understand all of the investment options available to you so you can start making an informed decision for your portfolio and your wealth building needs. So again, Jeff Barnes here, Self-Directed Company. Thank you very much for your time. Take care.